This is the Rational Fideist podcast, and you're listening to 3.5 minute Exhortations. Here's the big question of the week: why should theology matter? I'd like to read a few scripture passages for you to illustrate my position on this. In 2 Timothy chapter 3 verses 16 and 17, Paul says, "All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be complete, thoroughly equipped for every good work." And then again we find in 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, Paul says, "Be diligent to present yourself approved to God, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." Now, theology is basically a blend of two words, theo, meaning God, and logos, meaning study. So literally, theology means study of God. One reason why theology is or should be so pertinent, especially in today's day and age, is because it safeguards us from heretical preaching / worship, etc., etc. We have to bear in mind that there are certain essentials which every true Christian ought to agree on. But even that is not enough at times to save you from falling into error. You need sound doctrine for that. Now, in no way am I saying that only professors of one particular school of Christian theology are saved. No one, in fact, with sound doctrinal instruction will ever say to someone professing a slightly different doctrinal position that you are on your way to hell. Now, there are some errors that are more serious than others. For example, praying to the saints or praying to the Blessed Virgin is more dangerous than following, let's say, Joel Osteen. And if you're following Joel Osteen, chances are you might end up following Kenneth Copeland or Benny Hinn, who are understood as false teachers within the Christian circle. And so, what I want to emphasize upon mainly is that there has to be one consistent view of the Bible, and failing to look into the Bible from that view is risky. It may not necessarily be damnable, but it's risky nevertheless. Young people who've left homes to study elsewhere are at great risk today. Left alone with a laptop and an internet connection, absorbing any and every kind of information without knowing what's credible and what's not. We need to raise a community of biblically informed and enriched people. I can tell you that from my own life. Until I had a high view of God, I had no sanctification in my life. I was into sin and all kinds of sin without any sensitivity whatsoever. Friends, theology needs to be encouraged. Hard questions need to be asked. Take help from your church leaders or from those you think are more mature in their walk with the Lord. And I pray that the Lord uses you abundantly for His glory and for His honor. This is the Rational Fideist podcast, and you're listening to 3.5 minute Exhortations.